declares in Psalm 67 and 5, let the people praise thee, O God. Let all the people praise thee. Come on, lift your voice. Bless the name of our God. We're not considered the works of your hand, the creation.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's Sunday morning, and we are here live. This is Epic Life Dallas. I'm your host, Bishop T, and I'm grateful for another time, another chance, another opportunity for Sunday morning life. Man, I'm telling you, I share it all the time, but it's true. I mean, since I was a little boy, Sunday mornings have always been special to me. Mama helped to make that possible with bacon and bread. Just as simple as that. No eggs, just bacon and bread. A good bacon sandwich every Sunday morning. I knew it was Sunday because I smelled bacon. I don't smell any bacon this morning. I may in a minute when I go downstairs. But hey, listen, it's Sunday morning life. Good, welcome. Come on in. We're glad that you're here this morning. Lady Miller and myself, we're here in St. Louis. We were here for last night's Bishop's Gala for celebrating Bishop and First Lady Ford of the River. We had a great time on last night, and the preacher, minister of the word, said he knew you'd get here. And I'm telling you this morning, whoever you are, wherever you are, God knew this moment would come in your life before it ever even arrived, and He's got grace for it. He's got a plan for it. He's got a purpose for it, and we got to believe it. Listen, we started a new series last week entitled Guarded, and we saw in the word of the Lord in Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 23 last week, and I want to jump right into that as we prepare to give part two to part one, and then we'll pick back up on next week with the second part of this series. But Proverbs 4 and 23. Good morning to everybody as you're coming in. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 23 gives us some great wisdom. And that word guarded, that word guard rather, is right there above all else. Excuse me. That you guard your heart, for everything you do flows from that place. And we have had a good conversation on last week. But listen, today I want to give the second part of continuation from last week's conversation, and I want to give us 5 ways. I want to give us 5 ways to guard our hearts. And of course, we established on last week that when the proverb says heart, it's not just speaking of this physical heart, but it's literally speaking of the command central, the mind, where everything flows from. And so I'm going to give you these, and I hope that today I hope you'll take notes. I hope you'll share this. If you haven't, hey, why have you not? Go ahead, share this. Please, would you do us that favor? I'm not going to ask much of you, but if you haven't already, go ahead and share this. Tag somebody, get them in there. We're giving away the goods today. Somebody needs this. You need this. I know I need this, and so we want to share the word of the Lord today, because the Bible tells us to guard it. And so, if the Bible tells us to do it, then it's important that we have practical ways to be able to make it happen. So, step number 1. Get to know yourself. Listen to me when I tell you, most times a part of finding out who you are is being comfortable with who you are not. And sometimes we are left unprotected because we've yet to come into the fullness and the knowledge of who we really are. And the Bible says, if any man be in Christ, he's a new creature. Old things are passed away, and all things. And that word all things literally means all things, everything, not just one thing, not just a few things, but all things have become new. And so that our first step in becoming guarded against what is opposite of God's will for us is to get to know ourselves, and not just the self that people want you to be, but the self, the you that God has created you to be. Would you believe me if I tell you, I'm going to get to this some point this year, but there's a version of you that is yet to be downloaded. You know, these phones that we have, if you're apostolic, right? Um, they require every so often an update. You have to update the operating system on that phone. And if you don't, if a new update has been released and you're still operating on the old operating system, you can still use your phone, but you won't have maximum functionality out of that phone. And how many can just be honest and say, listen, I've been operating on an old version of me, and I need to upgrade. I need to update. Get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. It's personal. Come on, I won't bother you a whole lot, but somebody drop that in the comments today. It's personal. It's personal that I get to know me. I love you. I thank God for you. I pray for you. But at the end of the day, it's personal that I get to know me, because learning who you are is exactly what is needed in the life of the believer, to be guarded, because learning who you are, and it also helps us to define what we need. It also helps us to be able to establish that understanding of, these are my values. Yours don't have to be mine, and we don't have to debate, because mine are mine, and I'm not asking mine to be yours. But I know what my values are. I know what my purpose is. And so get to know yourself. Number one, let's go. Number two, y'all ready? I told you, I hope you're taking notes. Number two, we got to learn to set healthy boundaries. Now, that word boundaries is a big word, and we talked about that a few weeks ago with put it back, right? And that sometimes the enemy has come and removed the landmarks, and that there are boundary lines that have been overstepped. And when we identify it, we got to put it back and set healthy boundaries, because this establishing healthy boundaries helps us protect and be guarded. Because one of the main reasons why a lot of people claim to be guarded is not for spiritual reasons. One of the main reasons why people claim to be guarded is because they've been hurt. Somebody ought to shout right there, ouch, amen, or yeah, something, right? One of the main reasons why people claim to be guarded, and not in the spiritual context, but just in a natural context, is because of emotional hurt, because of physical hurt, because of unmet expectations, right? But when we set healthy boundaries, we let people know, this is what I will accept and this is what I will not accept. And you either fit into what I will, or you just have no place. Right? Because setting healthy boundaries isn't, and then let's go another step further, because setting healthy boundaries is not just for you to let people know what you will and what you won't accept. Setting healthy boundaries helps you yourself know that, hey, you know what? Here's how I said it, and I'm gonna help you, and I'm gonna keep moving. I won't let people play with me anymore, because letting you play with me is like me playing with myself. And I've just decided I'm not gonna play with myself no more. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to continue to play like I'm not who I am when I know who I am. I'm not going to continue to act like what happened didn't happen when I know it happened. And I just need to heal from it. And a part of healing from it is admitting that I had to have allowed that boundary to be overstepped in order for this to happen in the first place. So setting healthy boundaries, it's saying, hey, this is as far as I will go with people, and this is as far as I'm going to let people go with me, because you can't play with me in 23. All right, I ain't playing that, but I just said that. Come on, somebody drop that in the comments. You can't play with me in 23. I'm not playing with me. You can't play with me in 23. Healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. Number three, I got to keep going. Number three, avoid being, well, it should say too trusting, but we'll go with what it says. avoid being too trusting. Here's a big one, because remember, I just said the reason why a lot of people claim to be guarded is for that very reason, that they say, I've been hurt. Well, I trusted people, and people abused my trust, right? So when we start talking about being guarded, we got to avoid being too trusting to the wrong people too soon. Sometimes we open the door too soon. Sometimes people are just meant to see in passing, but we let them in the house. Sometimes people should stay on the porch, but we let them in the house. And sometimes we're too trusting. We're too trusting sometimes in the name of being loving. Sometimes we're too trusting in the name of being friendly. Sometimes we're too trusting even in the name of being Christian. That we have to make sure that when we're talking about being guarded, that those boundaries again, right? That it has a precautionary overtone to it, that I don't give away too much of myself. And watch this. And this is not even just to new people, this is to the current people, because sometimes people will tax you and then won't give you no return. Sometimes people will tax you and won't even give you a tax return. Like they'll just tax your time, they'll tax your energy. Come on, they'll tax your money if you let them. They'll just tax you. And sometimes we have to, in order for us to be guarded, we have to avoid being too trusting and be cautious that we don't give away too much of ourselves, because trust is a gradual thing, and when we give too much too soon, then we position ourselves to literally allow someone in who should not have been there. That's a whole nother sermon and a whole nother Sunday. But sometimes things got out of hand because we put them in the wrong hands to begin with. And so we have to watch people. I process people, and I want to encourage you to do the same thing. And it's not that I don't see good in people. It's not that I don't want to see good in people. It's just that I know people because I am a person. And to know me, number one, that was step one, right? Know yourself. And so when knowing yourself requires you to be brutally honest with yourself. And so if you can get up one day and not like who you see, imagine who else doesn't like who you saw. If you can look at the phone and see people calling and not answer, and consciously know that you're not answering the phone, yeah, then imagine how. I mean, come on, just be honest that there are people who we know, and we have to treat it as such. Like, I know you, I know you messy, so I can't tell you my business, like, and I'm not going to listen to you tell me anybody else's business. Come on, boundaries. I'm not going to tell you my business, but I'm also not going to sit here and be trusting with you and tell you mine, because if you tell me somebody else's business, you'll tell my business to somebody else. So avoid being too trusting. Trust is a gradual thing. Come on, I hear a need to talk to single people, that don't be in such a rush to have somebody, that you just pick anybody and be too trusting too soon. Especially you who have children involved. You can't be too trusting too soon, because you're not just inviting someone into your world. You're inviting someone into you and your child's world. And you have to watch for those signs of dishonesty. Watch for those signs of disloyalty. Watch for those signs of untrustworthiness. That there are some people who already showed you they can't be trusted. And once a person shows you, you better believe what you saw. Number 4, let's keep going, church. Value soul care. There's a lot that is being said about self-care, but today I don't want to talk about self-care. I want to talk about soul care. Value soul care. Don't let your spiritual needs take a back burner to your spiritual need, to your physical needs. Don't let your spiritual needs take a back burner to your physical needs. That if we put our physical before the spiritual, then that's not soul care. But soul care is when we're saying, I know what my flesh wants, but this is what my spirit says I need, and I'm going to go with what my spirit needs. Spirit over flesh, right? This is how to be what? Guarded, right? Because when we do that, we prioritize we're showing what we prioritize. And if we're not prioritizing the spiritual, then we're leaving the mental, we're leaving the emotional, we're leaving it unguarded. And to do all of these things, that leaves us with with so much, so much to deal with, so much negativity, so much toxicity, so much that we just don't need and just unhealthy for us. And so we have to value soul care. One of the reasons I'm getting up every Sunday and I'm on Epic Life Live every Sunday at 10:10 is because I value soul care. One of the reasons why I'm in my word is because I value soul care. One of the reasons why I pray is because I value soul care. And I'm telling you, one of the best ways to be guarded is to value our soul care. And it's literally placing a priority on the spiritual over the physical. I gotta go. Last one. Let go of what you can't control. Man, let me tell you, man, there's always something that you cannot control. And I just got to go ahead, one of the biggest things that we cannot control is not a thing, but it's people. And sometimes we're wanting to control people, and you can't control people because people will do what people do. People will be people. And instead of dwelling on that, what we cannot control, we have to focus on what we can control. And maybe the word that I should have put is not what, but who. Focus, let go of who you can't control. Um, and when we realize that it places us in a position to where I'm not wasting my time trying to see better for you, and you don't even want better for yourself. But I'm in a position to where I know who I can control. I can control me, so I want better for me. I want better for myself, and I'm focused on me. It's not that I'm selfish, but it's that I value soul care, and I'm learning, and I've been told to let go of what and who I cannot control. If I can't control it, then I'm not. Then I'm done with it. And being done with it doesn't mean I'm done with you. Being done means I'm no longer holding false expectation for something that you don't even desire for yourself. And so then now I'm on me. And so I got to make sure that I have myself in the right place, in the right position that I need to be in, so that I can become the best version of myself. Proverbs 4:23, but above all else, guard your heart, for from that flows everything. Everything comes from that. So I want you, if you didn't catch it, go back and rewatch this. Get all five of them. And as we hear this wisdom, as we catch this wisdom, we apply this to our lives, and we're going to be guarded in the right way. All right, that's it. We got to go today. We're headed to the river, but I wanted to make sure that we were here this morning to give this impartation to our epic family. I love you. As you know, I always say I don't love you to death, but I love you to life, because life is what Jesus said he came that we may have, and that we may have it more abundantly. So God bless you today. Thank you for being on. If this is your first time, hey, thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure you follow us here at Epic Life Dallas on Facebook, and catch up, hit that little bell on the page so that you can be notified when we go live. You can also find our content on YouTube. I'm gonna get my tongue together. You can find us on YouTube as well, Epic Life Dallas. Share this. Get this to somebody else. They need this. They need this, because you've been watching them live so raggedy that they need to know how to be guarded. And you couldn't put the words together, but God gave me the word for you to give to them. So share this with somebody who needs this today. God bless you. We love you, and we are excited for what God is getting ready to do. As before we end today, I want to remind us that we give God what's right and not what's left. And so we welcome you today to join us and partner with us in giving today, in the work of the ministry and the advancement of the kingdom through Epic Life Dallas. So there on the screen, you'll see that we have the ways to give via Cash App, typically in the comments in the caption, not the comments, but maybe in the comments if it gets there. But at least in the caption to this video, you'll find a link if you need to give electronically through credit or debit card as well. We appreciate you, and we thank God for your contribution. and your generosity. All right. So until next time, hey, we don't love you to death, but we love you to life, because life is what Jesus said he came that we may have it more abundantly. So we hey, listen, if you didn't catch all five, go back, catch the replay, and we'll see you next week for part two, week two, part two of Guarded. Come on, somebody help us ask him to fill this house. Fill this house with your presence. Oh Lord, we need you to fill this house. Fill this house with your glory. We're seeking you, oh Lord. Fill this house. Fill this house with your presence.